Hey, what's up everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I want to talk a little Lakers right now because of course we got second of a back-to-back tonight against the Sacramento Kings. Of course, I had a preview video this morning for you all talking about just a little bit of homework that I did on Sacramento and ultimately what I think going into this game. And I mean, there's some more things to consider as well. And I've been hearing a lot about the D'Angelo Russell conversation, or hearing a lot of conversations about D'Angelo Russell. People were not pleased with how he's been playing, concerns, that sort of thing. And, to be honest with you, I'm trying to see the good in D'Angelo Russell, man. That's really what it is. I understand a lot of people have been giving up on him, as we talk about a lot. People are hot and cold on him and stuff like that. And he's just a naturally inconsistent basketball player to begin with, shooting the ball specifically. So for me, it's like, I do agree with people who are saying he doesn't look like he's all in right now. Or maybe he has a distraction going on in his life personally. I wouldn't be surprised to find out there's something else happening in his life right now. But I think all the things that he said shows me that he's trying his best to be locked in with JJ Redick. I don't think he's not buying into JJ or the system or something like that. I really don't. I don't think that's what's going on. I think it's one of them situations where maybe there's something else happening in his life and he's trying to give it all that he has while dealing with whatever that is. That's what this feels like to me, to be completely honest with you. Because it's one thing to be missing shots. Like, we've seen D'Lo and missing shots and stuff like that. It's another thing for him to pass to Jackson Hayes in the corner. Pass up a shot to pass to Jackson Hayes. Like, that's a I'm thinking about something else play. That's exactly what that is. That's not him. That's him not fully being aware of what's happening on the floor. And he just looked a little despondent to me. His playmaking and all of that looks pretty good. He's getting like 5 assists a game. So that's pretty solid. He can up that a little bit. But, the shot selection looks fairly what you would expect from him. But it's just something about his body language out there that just tells me he's not present. And I don't know if I should be alarmed by that, in the sense that, hopefully he's engaging in the right practices off the court. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. Or if he's just got something going on in his life. It's something like that going on, I'm telling you. That's what it feels like to me personally. But I don't know the man. I wish him well, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad he's on my team. I do want him to play up his value, you know what I'm saying, for himself and for us, so that he can get his money in the offseason and that we can maybe trade him for something that really helped our team. I mean, I've never been one to lie about stuff like that. That's just how I feel. I think that's how a lot of people feel. I don't think it makes sense to trade him when his value's low. But I also don't expect that it makes sense to look at an inconsistent player and give up on him when he's down, because he's always either up or down. So, that's just kind of what it's been with him everywhere he's gone, with the exception of maybe Brooklyn when he had an all-star season. But like in this Lakers situation, both in this era and the Shaq and Kobe era, we went through lulls with him. Minnesota went through many lulls with him. Golden State, I think he went through some ups and downs there. So it's like, this is who he's been his entire career to some degree. And while it can be a bit annoying for people who like consistency, this is just a D'Angelo experience. And when he's hot, he's really hot. You can go for 45 points and 9 threes. Like, it's not consistent. See that you're going to get from D'Angelo Russell. It's extremes, extreme highs and extreme lows. And given the fact that he's doing some things in other areas, like getting steals, assists, trying to rebound the ball here and there, I think he's done a good job playmaking. Under those measures, I think he's been pretty solid. So if we're going to judge him by only how he hits shots, which is what he's supposed to be good at, then yeah, you could say he's having bad games. But I don't think he's having bad games, more so than he's just struggling to stay focused. And shots are not falling on top of that. That's what I think. Even if he was hitting shots, if he's playing like this, he's likely not focused. And so that's what I see. It's in the body language. But it don't seem like he's rolling his eyes as if he's not feeling the coach, or rolling his eyes as if he's not feeling the role or nothing like that. It don't feel like that. I feel like it's something else to me. Maybe he's just overall tired of the Lakers, being a Laker. It ain't even about which Laker team or who's coaching it. it's just the experience of dealing with us and our hot and cold behavior, maybe speculating, you know. Maybe he wants an opportunity to have a bigger role. Maybe he wants a different role. I don't know. But it just seems to me that, you know, it's kind of hard when your goal is to get your value up, and you're not displaying a urgency to, you know, be locked into every play. You know, it's almost like the goal is lost to a degree. Like this is going to make it so that more of what it is he would otherwise be frustrated with, in my theory, will become even more prevalent. More people hot and cold on you. Less likely to be able to get what you need in the offseason financially. More likely to be on the trade block. You understand what I'm saying? But, you know, we also saw when it was time for him to get traded in the trade deadline, him play some of his best ball with our team. So to say that he doesn't want to be a Laker, or to say that he doesn't play well when it's time to be urgent, isn't really a full assessment of what we've seen. Because even myself, I had to correct myself when I said last night he didn't have the trait to, it seems to me, to play well when it's time to play well. I had to think about that trade deadline and realize, no, that's the opposite. Because when it was really time for him to get traded and move on, suddenly he stepped into his bag for like 3 weeks straight. So that's what leads me to believe that, you know, there's something probably else going on in his life, his personal life. There's something else happening. And maybe the team know about it, but maybe we don't, that kind of thing. That's just, he just seems despondent, and I know damn well he wants to play well because it benefits him and the team to do so. So I'm just going to wait it out with D'Lo. I would not be surprised at all if he takes a leave from the team, if something really is going on. Because it might be in his best interest to come back and look good rather than continue to go out there and play bad. It would probably be terrible for the team in the grand scheme of things since we're such a shallow ball club. But if something's really going on in his life and it's affecting his ability to stay focused on the court, then maybe he does need to take some time off for himself and not worry about what that means for everybody. You know? But again, I'm just speculating. I ain't heard nothing. I don't know nothing. But, you know, I try to put 2 and 2 together in situations, and I just don't think it's a very simple thought to try to assess what we're looking at. I think a lot of people are looking at D'Angelo Russell acting as if they believe he wants to play poorly. Like he's going out there sucking on purpose. Oh, you know what I mean? There's other people who are assessing his shot selection and the fact that he hasn't been able to score the ball a lot and letting that be the reason, the end-all, be-all to him playing well. That's what a lot of Laker fans are doing. He's playing terrible because he's missing shots. But he's affecting the game in other areas that you're not even thinking about. So, you know, those are people we can't really listen to be completely honest with you. With all due respect to my casual fans, they don't really know what they're looking at in a lot of cases. They just don't. So, to say that he's just not playing well, that doesn't fully tell the story. He's not playing bad. He just ain't focused. He's not locked in. So that's what I see there, man. Hopefully we can get him to, you know, winning cures a lot. Team wins cure a lot. It's easier to drive home when the team's 2-0. You know what I mean? That's the reality of it. Winning cures all. So we've been winning. And I would not be at all surprised to see him start to play better in the presence of us winning. He may need to get out of this era, whatever this is. But if we keep on winning, I can see him brightening up very soon. And hopefully that looks like him hitting shots, but hopefully that means he just stays locked in a bit more. And too, a lot of times, you know, his limitations really get the best of him. Probably more so than a lot of players, you know what I mean? When they put a big, long, lengthy defender on the guy, it's easy to steal the ball from him. We saw that last night. He's got the ball popped out of his hands. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, I can't step into a person's body and tell them how they're supposed to play or that they can go harder and stuff like that. Some people are just not able to push harder, not able to push people around. You know what I mean? He's one of those individuals. You're not going to tell him to be more physical. You're not, you know what I mean? It's just not who he is. He ain't dunking on nobody, and he's not going to be able to run harder. You know what I mean? Like with Bronny James, for example, when he's trotting up and down the court, I feel confident that he can run harder. I feel confident that with the explosiveness that he has at 20 years old, supremely young legs, he can run harder. And he showed he could. All that trotting back and forth and all that we got on his case about all that, that ain't what we want to see. You can run harder. But when it comes to D'Angelo Russell dribbling faster, run harder, I don't peg him as somebody who's going to be able to do that. He just is as hard as it goes. This is as athletic as he is. If he tries to go any harder, he'll probably hurt himself. Like, literally. And so when I think of it like that, it just becomes, well, you just got to live with his limitations. And I heard someone this morning say maybe he shouldn't be starting. Maybe we should slip somebody else in the starting lineup and kind of use him a bit more deliberate as it pertains to asking him to do certain things rather than be our starting point guard. I think that might be the answer. As I've said many times, I think D'Angelo Russell is equally a 2 guard as he is a 1 guard. He was drafted to be. So we can get away with having him be a micro scorer / secondary facilitator. And maybe that would be the type of change that he needs. Not necessarily a demotion in minutes, but just a switch around in a way. Maybe empower Gabe Vincent and Austin Reeves a bit more in the point guard positions and let D'Lo kind of have some other responsibilities in the offense. You know? So he can kind of get easier buckets, kind of take advantage of more of his playmaking ability rather than being asked to just be the main guy, being your point guard. I don't know, you know, but I think JJ Redick's going to have to be creative as it pertains to D'Lo Russell while D'Lo's going through these struggles, because if we continue to keep him on this path, I got a feeling he may continue to struggle. So maybe it is some switcheroos. I don't know. Last year he didn't really react well to that. When Darvin Ham did it, benched him, it didn't really work out. But, you know, it's a different situation, and I think we have a bit more offensive firepower to where we can kind of experiment with him a little bit. The presence of Dalton Connect, we can find those points elsewhere. We don't need him to go for 35 in order to win basketball games this season. So these are the type of things I'm thinking about as a Laker fan. I don't know. Like I said, it's, you know, let's leave it up to the experts to try to figure this out. But my concern right now with D'Lo is not really that he's not playing well. It's just that he's not locked in. He ain't 100% focused on every play. And so that's really what it's about. Shots come and go for shooters. He just has to keep shooting. But some of the little mistakes, I think they have to do with focus. And so that's what I'm going to be looking for him to improve upon over the next couple of games. Hopefully he'll have a good road trip, stay healthy, obviously. We got, of course, Sacramento tonight, and then we see Phoenix once again at the start of that road trip. So D'Lo will definitely be somebody we have highlighted as, you know, we're hopeful that he can kind of snap out of some of these struggles, man. So that's really what's on my mind, man. I wanted to give you guys a small video here, nothing too serious. Definitely looking forward to this game ahead, since we're on a 2-game winning streak to start the season. First time in 14 years or something like that. It's pretty dang impressive. And the way that we're winning these games isn't just a simple way of doing things. We're withstanding some hard-hitting teams. Phoenix was started to see the game hitting just about every damn thing. And then, you know, from there, you look at the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they came in fully healthy without a single person on the injury report. You know what I mean? With Ant-Man and all those guys. It's a really good team. So, you know, when you consider how we won both of those games, who we played, and the fact that we did this while D'Lo was playing, you know, despondently, I guess is the word. You got to be encouraged by the overall team. You know, but I think, you know, with all the concerns about D'Lo, I'm also concerned about Max Christie, man, because he's supposed to be taking on, quote unquote, this big role. And I told everybody that I thought he would struggle, because there's no way to go but struggle when you've been asked to do too much without being prepared for that. And because we had Darvin Ham coaching the team last year, and Darvin didn't want to develop the kid and let him make whatever development mistakes on his watch, now we have him as a player of need in our rotation, and he has to try to figure out stuff that he wasn't given opportunities to figure out last year. And then every bit of the evidence that we're seeing to start the season is that exact thing. That exact thing. My thing with, and this is going to be a real problem. Max Christie is a terrible passer. It's a secret. Nobody seems to know it but me. I ain't heard nobody say this but me, but I talk about it every time I talk about Max Christie. He's terrible at it. And we, the Lakers, this year are a team that doesn't turn the ball over very much. JJ Redick has a system that protects the basketball, it seems. You know, he's getting the most out of all of our guys in regards to that. It's going to be hard to ask JJ Redick to put Max on the floor if we're going to have some of those type of turnovers that we had yesterday. He ain't going to want to do it, y'all. I'm telling you. I am telling you right now that Max Christie could potentially be pushed out of his rotation too if we continue to have issues that are only found in Max Christie. Ain't nobody else turning the ball over like that, passing the ball to the other team on miscues and stuff like that. This is Max problems. This is Max's biggest issue. And so if he's going to be a weak link as it pertains to something that we're good at, which is not turning the ball over, I already know he's going to fall out. He's going to be in the doghouse. So while people are worried about D'Angelo Russell, I'm a bit worried about Max. But it's not because of anything that I didn't predict. It's because Max just did not get opportunities to develop. And now the Lakers want him to just understand certain things that he was never taught. The analogy I always have is like a parent that doesn't teach their kid very much, and then when the kid turns to 18 or 21, now they're just supposed to understand everything that the parent didn't teach them. Well, you're a grown man, why don't you do this, this, and this? You didn't prepare that kid for any of that. And they get to a certain age and that stuff is just supposed to be inserted in their head overnight. Like, it's just, that's what I think the Lakers are doing with Max Christie. They're asking him to play big roles, be a main defensive player against certain players. And his weaknesses are glaring weaknesses that most of the players on our team do not have. And some of the familiarity that we have carried over based on the fact that we've been playing together for a couple years now isn't something that Max is afforded because he wasn't on the floor. So I'm very worried about this Max Christie thing. I'm very worried about that. I'm very worried about that because I think we're going to be asking him to do so much, and I don't think he's capable of doing half of what we're asking him to do right now. I really don't. I don't think he's capable of half of it. And he will be. I'm not worried about his ability to learn, but it's just, he's going to have to develop. He's going to have to develop. He was a second-round prospect to begin with. It wasn't like we got this guy in the lottery. Now, he could have potentially become a lottery player if he would have stayed in school, but he did not. He came out early. All the more reason why his development over the last couple of years was so damn important. And the fact that we didn't give him that playing time is so damn egregious because he was a young rookie. He wasn't no 4-year guy like Dalton Knecht. So the fact that Darvin Ham refused to develop this guy, I thought was a fireable offense. We should have fired Darvin early so that we could get a coach in there, whoever it was, to get Max the minutes that were going to be necessary so he could have been prepared today. That was one of the reasons why I wanted us to fire Darvin, and when I did. Midway through the season, I was saying, get this man the hell out of here. That was one of the things I had on my mind. It's just like, if we do, we can bring in the coach that's going to play Max Christie. And everybody, every analyst was telling us, we got to play Max Christie for all these great reasons. And I agreed, but there was the things that he wasn't good at that I needed him on the floor to get right. Like his god-awful inaccurate passing. So for me, I am highly irritated at the notion that now we're going to be relying upon Max Christie to be this guy who's going to be, you know, asked to guard Anthony Edwards and Ja Morant and all this. When I know damn well what his problems are going to be. And I know we could have worked those things out if we would have gave him a good, healthy chunk of 13, 14 minutes a night last year. It was no reason, no real, actual reason that was legitimate, that anybody would actually co-sign for us not playing that kid, man. There's no real reason. It was just Darvin Ham deciding that he wanted to play his boy to Taurean Prince because they got a pact to keep each other in the league. That's literally all that is. And we punted the development of Max Christie so that politic could be in place. And it was fireable. It was fireable then, and it's even more so egregious now when we're trying to rely upon this young fella. So that's really what it is, man. I'm hot about that. I'm going to be hot about that every time Max Christie makes any type of mistake. Because I know damn well it's something that shouldn't be happening. And I know damn well that we wouldn't be in that situation if we would have had a decent coach last year who wasn't trying to play his homeboys, who couldn't play. Cam Reddish and Taurean Prince, he played them dudes like they were starters. All the way to mediocrity. The numbers telling himself that was what it was, too. The numbers were telling him that. It wasn't like he looked at the box score and it was telling him that he was better for playing these dudes. Every metric was telling him that the worst aspects of our team was what he was leaning in on when doing that. But it wasn't about whether or not the team was playing well or not. It was about him sticking to the code, whatever the hell he had going on. Fireable, man. I would rehire Darvin Ham to fire him again. I kid you not. I get mad just thinking about that dude. And it wasn't just the mistakes. It was the stuff he did on purpose that pissed me off the most. If you can't figure something out, maybe you can't, you know, whatever the case may be, trying to figure out rotations, all of that. I mean, I could be frustrated with that, but it ain't going to make me feel like you did something to my team. You know what I mean? But this playing Taurean and playing Cam and not playing Max, yeah, he did something to our team. He was deliberately stepping on our success so that he could keep up with his whatever he had going on there. That's exactly what he was doing. And after a full season of watching it last year, that's the conclusion I've come to. And so, yeah, man, that part is what irritates me and makes me concerned. The Max Christie factor. The Max Christie factor. We paid him, but didn't develop him. And we let a coach that had ulterior motives mess up his development. And now we want to throw him out there, and he's going to struggle, and people are going to say he sucks, and people are going to want to trade him and all this different type of crap, when none of this should have been going on. None of it. Max should be on schedule. And he's not. So that's my point of view on that, man. I'm very happy that JJ Redick is in place. That's what I will say. I don't know how I would have approached this offseason and the start of this season if we would have kept Darvin Ham, yo. I'm telling you right now, I don't know what type of words would be coming out of my mouth if we would have started the season with that coach for another year. I can't explain to you how irritated I was at the thought of starting the season with him as my coach again. I can't tell y'all that. And I know there's 1.5 million people probably agree with me. And some of them for different reasons. But I was going to be, I don't even know if I'll be watching. I'm going to be honest with you. That's how bad it was. I don't even know if I'll be watching. That's how serious I was about just how irritating watching him coach his team was throughout the course of 2 years' time. It was the worst thing. And so I just want people to understand, like, JJ is a breath of fresh air, not only because he's doing everything the way we want to see it, but because he's not that guy. And so hopefully we'll continue to enjoy good basketball. We're not going to win every basketball game. It'd be great to go 82-0, but that's not realistic. Hey, there is something else I didn't talk about. So LeBron James essentially told everybody that he's going to try to play 82 games barring any injury. I'm excited about that. I think that's the right thing to do. I think we've talked about this on this channel a couple times now, that I think LeBron has told us more than once that he feels the more he does, the more better his body reacts to that. You know? And the fact that he was flirting around with the New York Knicks tells me that he was not going to shy away from big minutes and big opportunities to play a lot. Because if you're going to go to the Knicks, you're going to play 48 minutes a night. Salute the Kobe minute. That's just what's going to happen. If you want to load manage and not play very much, the last thing you do is talk about joining a Thibodeau team. So for me, that told me that he was ready to challenge himself at year 22 to play more, if nothing else. And so now that he has this guy JJ in place, we're getting off to a good start. If I'm LeBron James, I'm saying, man, I have drug worse to the promised land than what we have right now. And I got Anthony Davis. I've been on his team for 5 years. We know each other like the back of our hand. Some of our role players been with us for 3 years. We know each other like the back of our hand. If I got a chance to win a championship ever again, this is probably the best shot I get. If I'm LeBron James, I probably think that. This is probably the best shot I get. I don't have Darvin Ham out here screwing crap up. I have a legitimate chance, if I do everything I'm supposed to do, to get to the highest point that this team possibly can get to. Especially on the back of this fantastic center that I got in Anthony Davis. If I'm LeBron James, if I got any shot at winning a championship ever again, it's going to probably be with this unit right here. So, for me, he's probably buying into the idea. And he knew what was best for him. It wasn't load management, taking time off. You know, he needed to play and play a lot, keep his conditioning going. Because at this age, if you slow down and adhere to being tired, your body will follow you down tired road. But if you continue to defy that, you get the most out of it. And given how well he's taking care of himself, he probably needs to not take too much time off. You know what I mean? So that his body can continue on the path it's been on for the last 22 years. So I think that this makes a lot of sense. I think this is a sign that he's bought in. As I was listening to Trevor Lane, I believe it was, who said the same thing. It's a sign LeBron James is buying in. He believes in what we're doing. He likes what he's seeing, and he sees the hope there that this ain't going to be a waste of his energy if he does play 82 games and try to go all in. Because he might actually just get another opportunity at where he belongs, which is the NBA Finals every damn year. So that's what I want people to understand. LeBron James is more or less saying that he wants to play 82. Anthony Davis said he wanted to play 82 last year, walked around and got 76, I think, out of it, which is fantastic. So, you know, Austin played 82 last year. We're going to need these guys to stay healthy, and a part of them staying healthy is diversifying minutes amongst other people so that they can make it through the season. Resting them where necessary within the game so that we're not asking them to do too much on back-to-backs like we probably will tonight. So it's going to be on JJ to be mindful of his responsibility in keeping our guys healthy. And one of the reasons why we were able to do that is because we did use a good portion of the team a good portion of the time. You know, if Darvin did anything right, it was that he was able to keep these guys healthy with how he did things. So JJ, if he's going to get the most out of these guys, he's probably going to have to kind of mimic some of those things. And so that's what I would tell JJ, like, don't underestimate the importance of picking and choosing when Bron and AD should go and when you should lean on other guys to give them a breather. It could be the difference between your team making it through the regular season and you having some injuries that keep your main pieces out for months. So that's what I would tell JJ. But yeah, this is good stuff, man. I hope everybody is having a good day. It's been a good Saturday. I'm trying to talk myself out of buying something I shouldn't be buying to get something in my stomach that to keep me from having to cook right now, which I don't feel like doing. But it's one of those situations where it's just, it's Laker time, man. We got the game coming up at 7:30 tonight. And I really think we got a good thing going. I'm not going to lie to you. I think we got a great thing going. And I just want the team to continue on the path it's on. Win or lose, approach every game the way we've been approaching these first two. Win or lose, let's have that fight in us that we had when we were down by 22 against Phoenix. You know what I mean? If we keep that mentality, we're going to win a lot more than we lose. That's the reality of it. We ain't going to beat ourselves. So teams got to come in and not only shoot well, but shoot well for 48 minutes. So that's the kind of tone that we're setting early on in the season. And that's the type of tone that a really good team sets. A team that's going to make the playoffs and likely be on the top half of the playoff picture rather than the damn play-in tournament. So I like this for us. And that's pretty much what I got to say, man. I think it was something else I wanted to mention in regards to the Sacramento Kings. It might have been a player that I didn't mention that I wanted to mention. I can't think of who that is, though. Something like that. When I was listening back to my sack game, I was like, I didn't mention so-and-so. And I don't know who the hell that was right now. It was probably the injury report. Orlando Robinson, who I think used to play with the Heat, he's out, and Devin Carter is out. And I think we already know that because Devin Carter's been out since summer league, basically with an elbow or something like that. He's going to be a hell of a factor in the second half of the season when he does come back. I think he's a player that's ready to contribute to a situation, and with him down there, they're just that much better defensively. They're going to get to the line even more. Not really a shot maker, but can facilitate, can play some defense. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Sacramento Kings improve in the second half of the season just by working him in. Sort of like the Dallas Mavericks improved by working Derek Lively in the second half of the season. Of course, getting in some other centers as well. But you see the difference in how they use Derek Lively from the first half of the season to the second half of the season. I think Devin Carter could be a candidate for that type of thing, to where we ain't going to see him probably before January very much. But by April, he's going to be a factor off of that Sacramento bench. And so, yeah, I know Devin Carter is a contributor. I already know that before it even happens. At the very least, he's going to be our guy, Gabe Vincent. At the very least, he's a Gabe Vincent. Or like a Josh Hart or something like that. He's like that, maybe a little better. Maybe a higher ceiling than both of those guys. So I'm a believer in Devin Carter, and I'm glad he ain't going to be out there tonight. That's really what I got to say about that. But as far as we're concerned, our injury report is the same as well. It's the last game. Same usual suspects. Nothing different. Koloko, Vanderbilt, Wood, all out. And, of course, Jalen Hood-Schifino is still battling some type of something. I don't know exactly what it is. So that's pretty much what I wanted to come back and tell y'all, the injury report for tonight's game. And, yeah, I think I got everything out that I wanted to say. I appreciate everybody for watching BDF 44. I'm out.